Please come.
Good evening.
Come, VIDYANSHU. Please sit down.
Thank you, sir.
So, VIDYANSHU, tell the panel about yourself very briefly, about your academic qualifications, your main hobbies, and your work experience if you have any.
Sir, I am VIDYANSHU SHEKHAR. I am from originally Ranchi, Jharkhand. I did my schooling from DAV and then I went to VIT University Vellore, from where I did civil engineering. After that, I've been preparing for this exam, and this time I got opportunity to write both civil service and forest service mains. Last month results came and I had cleared both of them, thankfully. And in my free time, I like to read about Indian defense related news and also following news media websites of USA.
So, VIDYANSHU, when you said that you have cleared forest, that means you have got it to the IFS, Indian Forest Service?
No, sir, only mains results.
You have got the mains.
Yes, sir.
So, you'll be having interview there also.
Yes, sir. Maybe in May month.
All right. Anyway, so tell me why you went all the way down south to do your BTech. Did you not get any good college in Jharkhand, Bihar, where your home or homes are? Because your father is from Bihar, you are from Jharkhand.
Sir, VIT is one of the most prestigious institutes in India, second best private college. So I had a decent rank in their entrance exam. So given the choices I had, I found VIT to be the best option. Also, sir, around 80% of undergraduate students are Hindi speaking in my college. And so there is an environment there which does not even resemble to South India. Only when we stepped outside our college campus, we realized that we are in Tamil Nadu.
So that means you did not undergo a cultural shock, when you went down south compared to what you were used to in Jharkhand and Bihar, a difference in culture.
In fact, sir, if I may add, the amenities outside our college in periphery, say a barber or washerman, they had learned a little bit of Hindi to cater to the candidates, because there were like more than 10,000 students, 80% Hindi speaking.
So tell me why students are not able to get a good institution in that part of India. Why is Jharkhand so poor despite being so rich in minerals?
Sir, Jharkhand has abundant mineral resources, but also most of these minerals are in forest, which are tribal inhabited. And these tribal people have often opposed uncontrolled industrialization in their areas. This has led to distrust between local government and local people, and this has discouraged industries from coming in. Also, issue of Naxalism, and then tribal people have their own socio-cultural institutions where they do not agree with the amenities we are providing them. For example, they have their own youth dormitory for education, or their own healthcare system like Mehto and Pahan and Mehto, these kind of people. So this has led area to be backward. And then there are CNT Act, which makes it very difficult for outsider to purchase land for their self-purpose or for industrial purpose or to set up a college. Chota Nagpur Tenancy Act, which is basically meant to protect tribal land alienation. So, and then Jharkhand has this legacy of political instability. So these things have discouraged.
You said that you are interested in reading about Indian defense news, right? So tell me, currently, what do you think is India's preparedness for a possible war with China?
Sir, we had a late realization about a two-front war. So far, we have been Pakistan focused. Only recently, when Pakistan's assertiveness along the border has increased, so we have realized. I believe we are still quite ill-equipped for a two-front war. But there is a greater realization. The prime threats, sir, we face is that Air Force is still woefully inadequate to have 42 squadron strength. They are down to 32 squadrons only. That too mostly comprises of MiG-21. Then Army's more focus has been on Kashmir region and the western border. Also, China has developed a lot of robust infrastructure, while our infrastructure on the Himalayan region has been quite poor till date. That being said, sir, we have certain strengths. Like recently, there has been a scheme to build border infrastructure in Chinese border. Second thing, sir, we have very strong population density in Assam, in Kashmir, So that we can use as a leverage to counter Chinese. Chinese have very less population density in Tibetan areas. Most of Chinese is in the eastern coast. These things can be used.
You're also a civil engineer, Vidyanshu. So, tell me this, there's a new National Urban Technology Mission which is about to be launched. Have you heard about it?
Sorry, sir.
You have not. All right. So, tell me about the smart city. The smart city says that core infrastructure will be the first priority. Now, what is the core infrastructure which is built in the smart city mission guidelines?
Sir, while I'm aware of a smart city scheme, I'm not so aware of core infrastructure. If you could provide me some hint or
Roads.
okay, sir.
What is core infrastructure? Connectivity areas.
Okay, sir.
Anyway, don't try. My last question. Prime Minister has said that the global risks offers new openings for the local business.
Sir, we have seen a trade war between USA and China. China has around $2 trillion of annual export. More than 500 billion of that is to the US. Because of tariff war and growing distrust, we have an opportunity to become next manufacturing hub. Apple has recently opened its manufacturing facility. Second, sir, because we are seeing Ukraine-Russia crisis, India can come as an honest power broker and a mediator in these areas because we are also a strong nation, so our mediation can hold some values. And these are opportunities we should encash on because we can provide cheap labor and we are working on good logistics parameter, and we need to work on better supply chain so that local suppliers can be available in same areas.
Vidyanshu, tell me that what is the status of left-wing extremism in Jharkhand?
Sir, Jharkhand is one state where left-wing extremism still exists in greater proportion as compared to other states like Chhattisgarh or Maharashtra. As I was telling to the sir, there is greater distrust between local people and government. So tribal think that outsiders, industrialists or government will encroach their land, they will lose their land. So
do they have any ideology?
Yes, sir.
What is that ideology?
Sir, ideology is dictatorship of proletariat. What is that term? Proletariat, working class community. And second thing is to overthrow the government and overthrow our constitution. So it is mostly based on grievances of local people. So they try to encash and misguide people.
Mm-hmm. Is it not possible to eradicate that grievances?
Sir, we have been trying, but Naxals, what they do is they burn trucks and JCBs that we use for construction. They destroy the roads. They attack our armed forces. So there has been Naxal resistance, but we have been progressing. Left-wing areas have come down, shrunk to 30-40 districts recently.
Mm-hmm. The original word Naxal that came from West Bengal.
Yes, sir.
Do the ideology which they had, whether these groups are also carrying the same ideology or different?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware of such.
Mm-hmm. Okay. There is another group called Rohingyas.
Rohingyas.
Rohingyas. They are not
Rohingyas.
there. I mean, not in Jharkhand, somewhere else. My question is, who are they?
Sir, Rohingyas are Muslim minority community of Myanmar, belonging to one of the coastal provinces of Sitwe port and nearby areas. They live in that area. Because Myanmar is a majority Buddhist country and their army needed an excuse to grab power. So they have used it for ethnic cleansing, and these people have taken shelter in Bangladesh, India, other countries.
Is there some way by which they come directly to India, or they have to come to Bangladesh first and then only? If you examine the map of Myanmar and map of India and map of Bangladesh.
Sir, Mizoram shares a border with Myanmar. So perhaps they could come from Mizoram.
But they are not coming that way.
Yes, sir.
Why it is?
Sorry, sir.
So if you look at the map, you will find that actually, as you rightly said, they are towards the sea port, which is having boundary with Bangladesh, not with India. Okay. Another thing that Bhutan is having talks with China relating to Doklam area. And you know Doklam? Doklam is a sensitive area. So, what do you think? Should we have allowed Bhutan to talk to China on this issue, or we should have talked?
Sir, we have a friendship treaty with Bhutan, and that was recently revised to give Bhutan greater say in their foreign policy. So it would be difficult for us to say that whether we should have allowed Bhutan, because they have that kind of freedom. That being said, we should have better coordination with Bhutan, so that if talks were supposed to take place, we should have known in advance, we should have done something in advance. Perhaps we should have been presenting our case alongside Bhutan to the Chinese.
Any idea what is the progress in the talk and what had been give and take? What China is giving, what Bhutan is taking, or the vice versa?
No, sir, I have only read in news that talks are about to take place. I can only guess, if you may permit.
No, it's okay. After all, even whatever we are getting, it's only from third party, fourth party sources. Nobody knows much about it.
It could be possible that China might be promising some investment in return of maybe.
They are good at giving gifts. Yes. So on the first day of visit itself, they give some gift. So their gifts are in kind also, everything is there. Okay, thank you. Yes, carry on.
Vidyanshu.
Yes, sir.
I find you are interested in defense news and you are from Ranchi. So let's start with Ranchi. Do you have any role model from Jharkhand?
Yes, sir. Mahendra Singh Dhoni, sir. He is a native of Ranchi, and his contribution largely brought Ranchi to the map of India in terms of social recognition. And how cool he was on the field. This is an inspiration for me. How you should calm and be. He has been often lauded for his smart thinking on the field.
So what qualities of Mahendra Singh Dhoni would you like to adopt as a civil servant?
Sir, first thing, being calm while taking your leadership role. Second, MS Dhoni always gave credits to other people as well. To his juniors, he appreciated. This thing should be part of leadership. Third thing, sir, as captain, he also promoted use of Ranchi in international cricket games. So he was the one who brought IPL games to Ranchi. So this thing of promotion of development of backward areas and lesser known areas, this is a great contribution Dhoni has made, and I can.
And I think there is one more thing. In the crisis, he would always try to lead with success.
Thank you.
Coming to defense news, tell me the acquisition by Indian Navy, Indian Air Force and Indian Army. Latest acquisitions by them, which have been in the news also recently.
Like within 1 or 2 years?
No, not 1 or 2 days, last couple of months. Air Force has acquired something, Navy has got something, and Army has got something. So what are those which have strengthened Indian defense?
Sir, very recently, I can't recall. For Air Force, it was Rafale fighter jets.
Okay.
And Navy has recently received certain frigates from Russia. And few frigates are still in the waiting list due to the war. And Army has received rifles from USA. 6 SOR rifles.
Our own production in-house. Now India is very strong. We have started exporting.
I thought imports only. Thank you for correcting. Sir, we have recently begun manufacturing of AK-203 rifles. So first batch will come by April for Army, And in Navy, our indigenous aircraft carrier recently got operational. And Air Force, sir,
What was the name?
INS Vikrant. And sir, in Air Force, Tejas Mark 1A is now on stages of induction, and Tejas Mark 2 is under stages of development.
Any missile that India has produced
Recently,
recently?
sir, recently we tested Agni 5 with
Okay.
enhanced capabilities.
Good. So I wanted you to
Okay, sir.
tell that. Theater command controversy. What is theater command controversy?
Sir, theater command refers to a smaller command as compared to existing command, which is tailor-made for specific requirements. So, for example, challenges we face in Kashmir with respect to China, Pakistani border is specific, while in Punjab border and then in say Gujarat Gulf region could be different. So, theater these commands are made as per their requirement. They have lesser manpower capacity, but and other say like vehicles and other howitzers, they are integrated so that response could be quick and tailor-made for the requirement.
No, what is
But-
the controversy? You are telling about theater command. I am not interested.
Controversy could be that
Even
because
though it was decided, but recently again a controversy came up.
sir, I'm not aware of recent
Okay.
controversy.
So read up more.
Okay, thank you.
I give you a situation. There is a welfare scheme to be implemented. Listen carefully. The welfare scheme to be implemented, a local politician in the district, he wants two of his people to be given a posting at a place where there is scope for corruption. You know this, that local politician is interested in indulging in corruption. What will you do?
Sir, I will talk to the politician. I will tell him that this cannot be done. If this work is under my authority, I will go by the rules. If you have an objection, please give me an official letter telling your position. Otherwise, I will not entertain. Why? Because, sir, if I bend to the demand of politicians, I will be also part of corruption, for aiding corruption. Also, this will encourage and embolden politician for future corruptions, and in future, I will be always under threat that I could be scrutinized in future. So this will set a wrong precedence. As a government functionary, basically as a DM, I have huge discretion and protection. So I will use my authority and my protection to take a decision.
Okay, what is integrity pact? Have you heard of integrity pact?
Sir, integrity pact is often used in contracts to make sure that the contractor remains honest. Second ARC had recommended.
Contractor remains on it.
I mean, there is.
Is it only one-sided?
Sir, I am aware of only few details about integrity pact. That second ARC had recommended it, and perhaps contractor will have some penalties if some corruption happens.
No.
My knowledge
It's
is
a two-side, two-way pact. It's not a contractor is one part,
Okay.
and the agency executing it is another.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Last question before I pass on is who is architect of India Gate?
Sorry, sir.
Thank you, sir. Well, VIDYANSHU, from civil engineering to civil services. So, what are your takeaways from civil engineering for your new profession, civil services?
I mean, in what way I can contribute to the civil services?
Yeah, from particularly your background in civil service engineering, how will it help you?
Sir, initial postings might be in, say, small districts as ADM or SDM. There a lot of work is on Manrega scheme. So because a lot of Manrega involves infrastructure construction, so I can use my civil engineering knowledge to see if they are being properly worked, if there is any corruption, how efficient the manufacturing is. Once I get promoted to the higher sector, then we have schemes like smart city scheme, Bharatmala, Sagarmala.
Why only under MD Narega? Construction activities would be taken up under various schemes which will be under your charge. Initially as SDM and then as DM.
Of course, sir.
There will be from agriculture side, from any departmental. I mean, you will be you will have a supervisory role on all the construction, particularly from the government side, not only MD Narega. Okay, no problem. You are from Jharkhand. This just energy transition. It is now talked a lot on climate mitigation action. So, what do you understand by this? Just energy transition, and particularly with respect to Jharkhand, what is its importance?
Sorry, sir, I have not heard of this.
Okay, no problem. It's okay, fine. Honorable Law Minister 2 days back had written a letter to Honorable Chief Justice of India for a representative of the Government of India as well as state government in the process of selection of judges for on Supreme Court as well as High Court. So, what is your view on this?
Sir, presently, government does not have a representative. While judiciary asserts that independence of judiciary is a basic part of constitution, we know that checks and balances is basic part of democracy. So, of course, when there are judicial appointment, the executive and legislature should have a say in that. India is only democracy where judges are appointing judges. Whatever Law Minister Sir had said, that is because presently NJSE had been struck down and memorandum for appointment has not been yet finalized.
Member of appointment or member of something? It is called memorandum of appointment or something else?
Sir, please correct me.
Memorandum of procedure.
Okay, yeah, thank you, sir. So, memorandum of procedure has yet not been finalized.
Okay, yeah, it's okay. Good. As district collector, how would you ensure climate resilient development in your district?
Sir, first we can use local materials for construction.
Good, very good. Next.
Second, if the district is in drier zone, then production of millets.
Production of?
Millets. Jowar, bajra, ragi.
Okay, yeah. Okay, millets, yeah. Good.
And
tell me two more.
Sir, buildings could be more open so that we can use open natural ventilation for instead of cooler and heating system. Sir, we can use timbers instead of wood in case the area has surplus timber availability. Then timber has better insulation for heat and cold, so that can help. Instead, we can get rid of heaters and AC.
Now, you have heard of the Raisina dialogue?
Yes, sir.
What is this?
So, Raisina dialogue is more like a strategic dialogue on international relation and security issues, where think tanks and government as well as functionaries from other countries come and have.
Is it going to be held this year also? Any idea?
So, sorry, sir, I don't.
Okay, now it's going to be held in March sometime.
Thank you, sir.
Tell me, suppose if you are to speak on India's stand on terrorism for 1 minute in that Raisina dialogue. So, what will be what would you say? Just for 1 minute, India's stand on terrorism.
Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton said to Pakistan that those who harbor snakes in their own backyard should not think that snakes will bite only their neighbor but also themselves. We should get rid of separation of good terrorists and bad terrorists. Terrorists are an evil to humanity, to mankind, and we all should come together to eradicate it. Nations must set out their differences. India has already pitched for an international convention on terrorism at the UN. Community should come together. And South Asia has been biggest victim of terrorism.
Okay, good, very good.
Vidyanshu,
Yes, sir.
tell me as a civil engineer, why there are very less number of planned cities in India?
Sir, the planned city I could think of have largely been New Delhi area, then Chandigarh. So, because there was this colonial rule, they could have used it in their, without any accountability, they could have created. But otherwise speaking, cities in India occupy just 6% of area. And we have unplanned development the developed cities have not been developed in accordance to actual reality. For example, Chandigarh has huge plots for governments, bureaucrats, etc. But this does not consider that other people are lower class, middle class, etc. So because we have not considered true socio-economic limitations of our people, most people are forced to buy areas in an unplanned neighborhood. So this has been there has been less number of planned cities in India because we have not embraced reality.
Okay. So now, as a student of anthropology, explain the evolution of humans as well as the role of environment in it.
Sir, humans have evolved some 8 million years ago. We separated from ape line. So Australopithecus was the first, then Homo habilis, then Homo erectus, then we reached Neanderthal some 25,000 years ago, and finally Homo sapiens appeared when Neanderthal disappeared. Role of environment, we have on equatorial area where there is more sunlight, we have melanin. So people on equatorial region are black in color, while those on the polar region have less sunlight, so they are white in color. Secondly, there is variation in height. So the people who are living in higher altitude, their body is shorter because nutrient availability is less, and similarly their heart is larger because so that they can absorb whatever O2 is available in higher altitude. These are few things I can think of.
Okay, good. You like following news media sites of USA. Okay. So post-COVID, how do you compare or how do you see India's performance of economy vis-a-vis the economy of USA?
Sir, our economic growth has been strong. We registered more than 6% GDP growth rate. USA has seen modest growth rate. So this is better. But there are the other thing is USA still has only 3% unemployment rate. We have more than 6% unemployment rate. Second, because US dollar is global currency reserve, they have no shortage of dollar. So they have infused more than $3 trillion in their economy. We have issue. We cannot, being a developing country, we cannot run higher fiscal deficit. So while we have reached 7% fiscal deficit, we cannot infuse to the similar extent. So these are some changes.
So my last question, Vidyanshu, why do you wish to join civil services?
Sir, since a very early time I have been reading about defense news, as I mentioned in my hobby. And defense is often related to economy, geopolitics, international relation, demography, everything. So since very beginning, I got exposed to these things as well. So I developed an interest in all these areas, defense, economy, infrastructure, other things. As I reached final year of my college, I felt that once I have so much interest in so many areas, and underlying thing was sense of concern for the country, how good my country is in economy, infrastructure, everything. So I thought that civil services will give me an excellent strategic platform from where I can work in diverse areas. So I thought I would apply for this.
Okay, thank you, Vidyanshu. I pass on to Chairman, sir.
So, Vidyanshu, any topic which you think has been left out by us from your DAF?
No, sir.
It's okay?
Yes.
All right. So, thank you, Vidyanshu. We'll call you again. You may proceed to the next room for some moments.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Let's go. Come, Vidyanshu. Petro.
Thank you, sir.
So, Vidyanshu, before we give our comments on your performance and advise you how to improve, what are your views about yourself, your performance?
Sir, I am not that thorough with current affairs, recent developments, because I was busy with forest services mains. So I recently got free from that, so I've been unable to brush up. So this is one area I think I need to improve. And second, about defense and those things I need to study in more detail.
And that is your forte also, strength also. You have mentioned that. So, Vidyanshu, you have a very pleasing personality. We are very impressed with your overall performance. And it was a very interesting conversation with you. and uh, uh, you were communicating very well. It was in a conversation mode. You were confident throughout. You were comfortable and smiling and looked very pleasant. So you are a good material for the civil service. There is no doubt about it. Regarding the content, you have right in the beginning acknowledged that you need to brush up. So content, in terms of you have good delivery, you have good personality. What is left? What you have in mind, right? So that needs to be improved holistically. I won't name any particular question answer. Any question can be asked from you. We asked one set of questions. An actual interview may be asked some other set of questions. The basic idea is that you should, especially your DAF areas, right? We started with Jharkhand, right? So Jharkhand, you were very confident in mentioning that the minerals are there, but the tribals are not allowing minerals to be extracted, and that is why we are poor. But if you ask the Jharkhand people there, you will find that basically because there is no value addition for the minerals within Jharkhand, within the state, because of which it is all going outside, right? Otherwise, if that had been so, you have Bokaro there. What else?
Dhanbad and Jamshedpur as well.
Jamshedpur is there, age old. So that is not the right thing to say, and that too as a first thing. Yes, low LWE problem is definitely affecting the climate, which is required for business to generate, industries to be set up. That of course, that is for industries to set up. But basically, this is not correct. So you need to correct yourself. And secondly, your defense, your India's preparedness for China was also, as you yourself have admitted, was not very well structured. Right? Agni 5, about which honorable member asked you later on, was the first thing that you should have said. Sir, we are more than prepared as far as nuclear war is concerned. We have Agni 5 which can reach 5,000 kilometers. That is one. And then you have also heard General Pandey making statements before the Army Day and on the Army Day that we are prepared for the war. Halaki, the Chinese forces are slightly more than ours, but we are in a position to tackle them. So you have to speak their words. Neither you nor I have gone and see what is happening on the border. So you have to quote something. And the reason why I asked you, not just because your defense thing is, Pandey ji has said just about 3 days ago, 15th January was the Army Day. Smart city, you were not very good. Civil engineer, not knowing smart city is slightly, it's not good. And when it came to core infrastructure, which is such a common generic word, you should know what core infrastructure is. So that is another thing which was slightly surprising. When I asked you about global risks offers new opening in domestic business, in local business, you started talking about diplomacy. That was not required. What has our becoming an arbitrator between Ukraine and Russia to do with getting advantage? Idea basically was PM meant that when there is a scarcity, when there is a supply chain, you came with supply chain point in the end, that supply chain can be plugged by India. So that means India can export more. And we have exported wheat, haven't we?
Correct.
So, both things, small things, then I pass on to other honorable members. One is that the plant city also was not a good answer. You forgot Gandhinagar and you were blaming the British. They could have made some more. We have been 75 years, we have been independent. Only Gandhinagar has come up. And you forgot about Gandhinagar. So indigenously, main issue was that why have we not planned more cities within India? Right? And lastly, when you are thinking on 2 or 3 questions, do not look down. आप नीचे देख के सोच रहे थे. Keep your head as it is normal. You can lower your eyes here and there, but you can think. But don't lower like this. You are thinking like this. You say, "Oh, that is not in good this thing."
Eye contact can be avoided.
Eye contact is avoided because you're thinking something, but keep your head at the same level. ऊपर भी नहीं देखना कि चलो मैं सोच रहा हूँ, जैसे आप नॉर्मली यही करते हो. अच्छा मुझे सोचने दो, मुझे, बट नीचे नहीं. नीचे ऐसा लगता है you are hanging your head in shame or something. It doesn't look good. That's all from my side.
So Vidyanshu, you have done well. Contents have to be done because you are not clear on anything. Whether it is India's foreign policy, our relationship with our neighbors, internal stripes which are taking place, at every level you have to prepare yourself so that the answers which come out should be concise, crisp and effective. So the broad areas I have already told, they have to be well prepared because Indian Foreign Service is your second option. So this is one area which is going to be asked to you. India and its neighborhood. And other than that, the war theatres, different war theatres which are there, different trouble zones in the world, they have to prepare and what is our stand in each one of them. There are certain groups, some military groups, some non-military groups are there. What is our role and stand in with respect to each one of them. So since Indian Foreign Service is second one, that may be crux of discussion there. Okay. Otherwise you are fine. You must do well and you have time to prepare. So you must do well. Okay.
With good, you will score far better if you have good content. Okay. So read up more on defense because that is one item you have written in your life. So latest acquisition. You missed out on school. I expected much more. Not forthcoming. Then theatre command controversy. The new air chief made a statement recently, flagging some issues which need to be connected.
I read about it, but I
Then corruption case, you said you will ask a local politician to give something in writing. Why nobody gives in writing if he is wanting his people to? And what will you do? Suppose he gives in writing.
I mean, that will put a legal liability on him. That look, this person was saying. If I say tomorrow, if I accuse him that this politician was trying to coerce me or he was trying to make illegal things, he could always deny. But if I tell him that, sir, if you want something, give me in return, he will hesitate to do so, do anything. That was.
You were a bit rash in tackling this question. Politicians, give the impression that all politicians are bad.
So, sir, what should have been the ideal reply?
We'll talk about it. Let the member complete.
So, integrity pact. It is a pact between the contractor and the agency executing the work beyond a threshold limit. So, as a civil engineer, you should know the latest edition. This is that ethical clause which has been implemented. Now it is quite almost more than 7-8 years that it is there. Architect of India Gate. As a civil engineer, I expected you will know. Architecture of Chandigarh. Who was the architect of Chandigarh?
Lee Corbusier.
So, India Gate also you should remember. Okay. Now, in all these cases of corruption, One way is that you record a confidential note for record's sake, or maybe submit to your senior that there was such and such incident that has happened. And as far as the politician is concerned, you will adopt your ways of telling him no. There are many ways of saying no. But certainly you will follow the procedure norms. If you know that this posting is not you, you will not show any consideration for that.
Well, thank you, sir. Well, Vidyanshu, all points have been covered. Nothing much to add from my side, except for 2 points. एक तो आपने जो हाथ जोड़ा ना जाते हुए, जब आप वापस जा रहे थे तो आपने हाथ जोड़ा, उसको अवॉइड कीजिए।
एंट्री में भी
हाथ नहीं, जो मतलब हाथ जोड़ के आपने किया ना, वो उसको आप छोड़ दीजिए। गुड इवनिंग, या गुड बाय सर, या थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू सर करके निकल जाइए। आप हाथ जोड़ने की जरूरत नहीं है। दूसरा, आप वीडियो में देखिए, आपका हैंड मूवमेंट था कुछ जगह पे ना, हैंड मूवमेंट था, उसको कम कीजिए, मिनिमम कीजिए। मैं नहीं कहूँगा बिल्कुल भी नहीं होना चाहिए, बट थोड़ा सा आपका ज्यादा था कुछ जगह पे, उसको देख लीजिएगा। बाकी ऑफ कोर्स जो आपका कंटेंट इंप्रूवमेंट के लिए है और करंट अफेयर्स पे, उस पर आपको वाकई यू हैव टू फोकस। जस्ट एनर्जी ट्रांजिशन का मैंने आपसे पूछा, तो ये झारखंड के लिए काफी रेलेवेंट है, इसलिए मैंने पूछा आपसे।
अच्छा।
और आजकल क्लाइमेट इसमें काफी इसके बारे में चर्चा हो रही है, खासकर इंडिया के लिए। और इंडिया में भी झारखंड है, जो कोल्ड बियरिंग एरियाज है, उनके लिए बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट है। और बल्कि झारखंड तो भी एक फर्स्ट स्टेट है इन द कंट्री विच हैज कॉन्स्टिट्यूटेड टास्क फोर्स ऑन दिस, इंटरडिपार्टमेंटल टास्क फोर्स, टू इंश्योर दैट दिस एनर्जी ट्रांजिशन इज जस्ट। तो जस्ट रीड अबाउट दिस, ओके? अदरवाइज यू आर वेरी गुड, as other chairperson and other members have said. My best wishes to you.
जस्ट टू ऐड ऑन विद्यांशु, एक जो आप सिविल सर्विस का जब आंसर दे रहे थे, उसमें आपने क्या बोला, मुझे देश के लिए कुछ करना था, आई हैड टू डू समथिंग फॉर माई कंट्री, तो मैं किया। उसकी जगह आप बोलो मुझे पब्लिक सर्विस में इंटरेस्ट है, तो ये स्टेटमेंट को अवॉइड कीजिए। दूसरा, जब आपने इंट्रोडक्शन दी थी, एक तो उसमें स्कूल के बारे में मत बताइए। सबसे बड़ी बात, आप सिविल सर्विस के इंटरव्यू के लिए आए हैं, तो आप उसमें फॉरेस्ट सर्विस का मेंशन मत कीजिए। उसमें भी ये मत मेंशन कीजिए आई एम थैंकफुल दैट आई क्लियर्ड दिस एंड दिस एग्जाम। इस दोनों चीजों को ये अवॉइड कीजिए, है ना, अच्छा रहेगा। बाकी कंटेंट पे काम कीजिए, कम्युनिकेशन ठीक है, एंड बस कंटेंट पे आपको थोड़ा काम करने की जरूरत है। छोटी छोटी जो गलतियां हैं, आते हुए भी आपने ऐसे नमस्ते किया था। यू आर इन अ प्रोफेशनल स्फीयर, है ना, तो इनको अवॉइड कीजिए, है ना, ठीक है।
सर, अबाउट आस दैट सिविल सर्विसेज जो मैंने बोला कंसर्न फॉर द कंट्री, मतलब शुरू से यही था कि मैं डिफेंस के बारे में पढ़ता था, फिर कभी इकोनॉमी आ गई, कभी जियोपॉलिटिक्स आ गया। तो बचपन से मतलब बड़ा इंटरेस्ट था कि देश कहाँ पे अच्छा है, कहाँ बुरा है, तो बड़े मतलब वो चिंता के भाव से मैं पढ़ता था चीजों को।
मेरा तो ओपिनियन ऐसा नहीं बोलना चाहिए, बाकी सर बताएंगे।
नहीं विद्यांशु, अगर मान लो 10 चीजें सही हैं, ठीक है, आप उनमें से 5 चीजें बताते हो, 5 चीजें नहीं बताते हो, तो कोई प्रॉब्लम है? ये झूठ नहीं बोल रहे हो आप, है ना? अगर क्वेश्चन इतना स्पेसिफिक होता है विद्यांशु, ये सब ठीक है, करियर प्रोस्पेक्ट तुमने बता दिया, असली ये तुम्हारा ट्रिगर कैसे हुआ, कैसे शुरुआत हुई इससे, तब ये क्वेश्चन आंसर बनता है कि सर मैं बचपन से मुझे आर्मी और ये सब पढ़ने का, जो आपने लिखा भी है उसमें। But in normal case, they are basically asking you, what attraction are you finding in civil services? You know, कोई कहता है मुझे जॉब सिक्योरिटी मिलेगी, कोई कह सकता है कि मैं बहुत पावरफुल हो जाऊंगा। So that those are all negative traits. So basically to judge, कोई आपकी पर्सनल लाइफ में थोड़ी ना जाना चाह रहा है कि आपको रात को सपना आया, उस दिन एकदम बल्ब जला आपके माइंड में और एक ग्लो आ गया और सडनली you started say यूरेका, I want to go in civil. Is that relevant to the interview? No. So emotions have to be controlled. And truthfulness, I'm not saying to say a wrong thing, to lie. But was this the only reason why you chose this career? You could have gone in army also. Why did you not go to defense? When you were so much interested to serve the country and you were motivated by defense, you could have gone into NDA. Why did you not do it? Today you have appeared in a forest service. Why are you trying IAS also?
ये सारे सवाल आगे आ सकते हैं, है ना, इससे। हाँ,
And how IFS would not serve the country? Which government service you can say that you are not serving the country? Everyone working in this country is serving the country. So don't get very swayed away by your emotions. ठीक है? Keep them in control. It will have negative value. It will not give that you are patriotic. इसके कोई नंबर नहीं है. ठीक है? और कुछ आप क्वेश्चंस पूछो, आप बकाया और जो है.
सर हैंड पोस्चर ऐसे रख सकते हैं?
आप देखो हाथ को ना उठाओ मत, ऐसे ऐसे मत करो, हवा में मत लाओ.
ठीक.
उसके अलावा कीप देम एनीवेयर.
ये बढ़िया है.
बल्कि सबसे अच्छा
आर्म
ये
रेस्ट
है
नहीं है.
आर्म रेस्ट.
आर्म होती ही इसीलिए है. आर्म कौन सी, यही तो है आर्म. तो आर्म को यहाँ रखना कोई अपराध नहीं है. और चेंज करना हो तो ये ऐसे करके जो है, कभी ऐसे ऐसे रख लिया. मुट्ठी बार के ऐसे मत करो कि जैसे लगे कि बिल्कुल दोनों को आप हाथ का कंपन आपका दिख रहा हो. नॉट दैट यू आर डूइंग, बट सामने वाले को इंप्रेशन आ सकता है कि भाई ही इज नर्वस.
और हाथ का मूवमेंट ऐसे नहीं आना चाहिए. इसको ध्यान रखिए. एक बार आपने देखा वीडियो में,
मतलब बहुत ज्यादा वो बिल्कुल
एक आध बार
साहब
पूरा
ये करना चाहिए. लाइक तुमने पाकिस्तान के प्राइम मिनिस्टर को देखा है, वर्तमान वाले, वो जब बोलते हैं तो सामने का माइक वाइक सब गिर जाता है. Have you seen the videos? Very interesting. और बताओ. नहीं, तुम पूछ रहे थे ना एक क्वेश्चन का इस समय.
वो हाँ,
बोल रहे हो
डीएम वाले. हाँ.
तो क्या क्या एग्जैक्टली था क्वेश्चन में? एक बार रिकॉल कराना.
सर इट वाज लाइक यू आर डीएम एंड लोकल पॉलिटिशियन इज टेलिंग
कि दो आदमियों को लेना है.
हाँ.
आपने क्या एकदम जैसे अंदर आपके वो पेंट अप जैसे उतर रहा है कि मैं तो पॉलिटिशियन को बिल्कुल जो है ना. नाउ व्हाट यू शुड डू इज, sir, I would follow the rules, and if these two persons are found eligible as per the eligibility criteria and as per the process designed, they will certainly be taken, but not just because the honorable politician or politician has compelled me or coerced me to take them. And if they are found not to be not eligible and not as per rules, as per law, as per the recruitment process, then I will not take them.
Yes, let me just interrupt. The catch was that these two people are to be brought on the seat where
Corruption.
there is a possibility of corruption. That is the catch.
Yeah. So it was not a new recruitment.
It was not a new.
Okay,
These
so
two
it was a
people are
transfer.
already there in the office.
It was a case of
They
transfer.
go to the politician, and there is a tie-up, and politician now is recommending that these people, you bring them here.
So for that, let me change my stand. Sir, in that case, first of all, I'll find out about the credentials of these two people, right? And based on the record, based on their general reputation in the organization, in the office, if they are already, they are vulnerable to, do corrupt practices, then I will certainly not post them at all. And I will humbly request and tell the politician that because of this reason, we cannot post them, because there will be complaints, and we cannot allow somebody who has a corrupt background to be posted in a place where we need very people of integrity. आप ये नहीं कह सकते कि वहाँ भ्रष्टाचार बहुत हो सकता है. मतलब we need honest and people with integrity there, and these two do not have that integrity because of the record. I have checked their ACRs also. You can substantiate.
Sure.
And so I am sorry that we cannot do it.
मेरे साथ बिल्कुल exactly यही हुआ था. I was posted in a division. One MP wanted a person to be posted in a particular catering seat, and that person's reputation was not good. So not only I told MP that it cannot be done, I issued a confidential memo to the clerk who had put a political pressure for his posting, because it is against conduct rules. So these things you will learn later on in the job, but what I said, record in writing and keep it. that such things always come in very handy.
So you should not bounce over the politician. The word, the moment you hear politician, the politician has to be bad, right? And maybe after that, politicians will not respond back. You don't have to go to that story beyond that. But normally, it so happens that they actually, in actual practice, there is a lot of pressure on them. It's only when they repeat, no, if you don't do it, Mr. DM, I will do this, I will do that. Then you should see the seriousness.
एक बार वो कहेगा सिर्फ प्रेशर के अंडर में. Second time he will generally not come if he knows that you are a straightforward man.
Right? What else? So, Vidyanshu, we have given you very good marks, 66% for your performance. I do not know how you would rate it in your own way, but in the eyes of UPSC and in our own eyes, I think 66% would mean more than 180 or
182 marks.
182. Not a bad beginning, but this is not the end, mind you. We have identified for you so many areas, primarily not to find faults in you, primarily to improve you further, so that the 66% should go beyond 70 and maybe up to 75, which was the highest, right? So all the best to you.